poppin' guys, Sabro4, and I've got a deck profile to show you guys today featuring the old Deluge Blastoise here from Plasma Blast. It got released originally in Boundaries Crossed, got reprinted in, I think this was the second reprint actually, or I got a secret rare too in one of the Plasma sets. But it definitely has a lot of prints from the black and white era. Now, you guys know me, I run, most of the time I run my rayboar with Embor, but believe it or not, there was a time I was actually using this deck just as much, if not more, than rayboar. I really like it. It's the same idea, the original idea, with Blastoise and Rain Dance. It's called Deluge in this case. As long as you have this ability active, you can attach as many water energies as you want from your hand to one of your Pokemon. So I know there's a new Blastoise from the team up set, but I don't have that, and that one plays a bit differently from this one, revealing cards from your deck. It does have the benefits and downsides, and this is a conventional Deluge Blastoise deck. It's not the Archie's one. There's a couple of reasons for this. For one, I don't really see any point, any reason showing you guys a degenerate ass deck like that. I can easily just net deck and copy like a good trainer skeleton to make that deck work, so you can get Archie out turn 1 and then run the rest of the stuff. But I don't see no point in that, and I'm assuming, I'm at least hoping, that Archie's days are numbered. They're eventually going to ban that card, just like with Maxi. As soon as there's another stage 2 water Pokemon that can be exploited like that turn 1, they're probably going to ban it. Hopefully, it should have been banned by now. It should have been banned many moons ago, but it is what it is. So this is just going to be a conventional Blastoise deck, and we're still going to have some fun with it. Now, the problem with Blastoise and why I strayed away from it for a long while is that we don't really have a good Pokemon that can get one-hit knockouts, discards a lot of energy, that you can get one-shots on Pokemon. Like even Rayquaza EX, even though he's felt the power creep by now, you can still just discard the specific number of energies and get knockouts on still pretty much anything. Like you go up against stage 1 GXs, okay, you know, it's not going to be as easy as how it was in the black and white days, but you can still discard like an extra energy, like you discard 4 as opposed to 3 and get the job done still. So it has that going for it. The only Pokemon that we have that's similar from way back is the Black Kyurem, but that Pokemon caps at 200. It's not as effective, and I mean, Shiny Legends Rayquaza does have a cap too, but that's a basic Pokemon, so it's a little bit more forgiving. Black Kyurem EX though, it caps at 200, and I don't like it. I don't want to play any choice bands and stuff, and it doesn't really get the job. So what we're going to do is we're going to run a bunch of different attackers that get the job done slightly different. First and foremost is this Eevee and Snorlax GX. I've talked about this card before. I strongly believe it's a very good card in any deck that can use energy acceleration, and this is one of them. So it's a great sort of an example deck to put this guy in. With 4 energies, Dump Truck Press will get basically a one-hit knockout on any stage 1 GX Pokemon, and can even take care of a lot of stage 2 GX Pokemon. Obviously, against basic GX Pokemon, you don't want to use this guy. Doing 120 for 4 is not good. But we even have Megadon Friends GX too, so you can take care of those guys using this one-off GX attack, do 210. And the draw effect can be kind of handy too. Maybe if you got like an extra energy to spare and you're not looking too good with your hand, you can just sacrifice that extra energy and get a big hand to work with. So it's good. Cheer Up, it's for the most part a useless attack. It doesn't do damage, but I guess you can slowly build this guy up or other Pokemon if you want to use it. Risky Pokemon, since it's Attack Team GX, but with 270 HP, it should be pretty good. It's our method to get knockouts, easy knockouts on stage 1 GX Pokemon if we go up against them in Expanded. I would imagine Zoroark GX is still going to be very popular. There's a few Pokemon that this guy is just a good counter, a good Pokemon to use against. So this is one of our good ways to attack. Next up, I've got this Palkia GX Dragon 1. Now, I still believe that this guy, for the most part, when it comes to the GX attack anyway, and even spatial control, is inferior to Dialga GX from the same sets basically. But I have to admit that Zero Vanish GX against specific decks, it does actually fuck them over hard. Like for example, you use Zero Vanish GX against Rayquaza GX when they have a lot of energies around. You screw them up very good. I don't think they'll easily be able to recover, if at all. Just shuffling all energies from each of your opponent's Pokemon, it can be a useful effect against decks. Spatial Control is a really useless attack. You move any number of energy from your bench Pokemon to this Pokemon. I just don't see almost any situation where you would want to do this. Like, if you're doing this, it means you can't do anything much else, and if you're in that situation, you're probably going to lose anyway if you got to use this attack because you can't do shit. And Hydro Pressure, his middle attack and our typical attack, is basically a slightly stronger Keldeo Secret Sword, which is also why this guy is in here as opposed to Keldeo. We're doing 60 for 3, but you're always going to have 3 water energies in this deck, so it is essentially 120 for 3, and it's going to get even stronger with more energies. So once we use Zero Vanish GX, if we do use it, this guy's going to have 5 water energies on, that means. So he's doing like 160 always. It's a decent amount. It's nothing really groundbreaking. This guy's mostly in here for Zero Vanish, but against other Pokemon, I guess Hydro Pressure can be good too. The reason I'm running this guy is, of course, for the GX attack. I also like that he's a dragon. It gives me a little bit of variety when it comes to types, being weak to Fairy as opposed to being weak to Grass or Lightning like other Pokemon would be in this deck. And it looks really fly. This full art is cool for the most part. Now, as you guys can see, Keldeo with Secret Sword isn't actually in here, and there is a reason. Power creep is the reason. Now, that Pokemon, in a deck like Ray Ills, we actually do, like, his Russian ability is kind of essential. You do want to run a Pokemon like that specifically for that ability. But in this deck, I mean, of course, it's useful to have, like, the Russian ability around, but just like rayboar and just like other decks, it's not like I want to have that switching effect all the time. And all we have is Secret Sword, lower HP, weakness to grass, which can be kind of problematic. I have a few other Pokemon weak to grass here. So I decided not to go with it. I mean, for the most part, this guy does what Keldeo does. He just has higher HP, has the GX attack to go with it. I mean, spatial control is useless, but I guess you never know. So running this guy as opposed to Keldeo. Because I'm not really going to use the space to run a bunch of float stones. There's only one float stone in here, so yeah. Now the other attacker that's really good is this Tapu Fini GX. I really like this Pokemon because I like having snipers in my decks, especially in these energy acceleration decks. So this guy is like the Entei GX in my rayboar, like the Raikou EX in Ray Ills. Hydro Shot is really good. We discard 2 water energies on this Pokemon, and you can do 120 to any Pokemon on your opponent's field. And it's actually better than Raikou EX's sniping attack, of course, because it's much newer. I like the fact that this Pokemon doesn't have a weakness. Its retreat is really good at 1. It's just a good Pokemon all around. Tapu Storm GX is also kind of handy. At the right time, if we use this, it can be very good. Cheap GX attack. And Aqua Ring, that's probably not good, but I mean, I guess if I open with this guy and I have like a Mime on the bench, then I can just use this attack, get the Mime on the active position while I'm still trying to get out Blastoise. So it's just a really nice Pokemon all around. Very nice looking full art too. Yeah, gotta love the art. They use like for the full arts of these Guardians, they use the artwork that's in the video games, like in the stamp sort of a book where you complete the like all of the trophies and stuff. You get the stamps. Okay, and next up we got this Volcanion Prism. This is the Water Prism Pokemon that we have. He's really good. Sonoblast is a solid attack. You do 100 for 3, and then you do 20 to all of your opponent's bench Pokemon. There's a billion sort of basic water techs you can run from the Kyurems, Plasma Kyurem, the Noble Victories Kyurem. I got reprinted too. You've got the Kyogres, you've got I mean, fuck, there's just a lot of different Pokemon you can choose from. This guy has the highest HP since he's a Prism dude. Sonoblast is good. Jet Geyser is also very handy, sometimes forcing your opponent to switch. So this guy is the best. It's not like I have space to run a billions of these water basic techs, non-EX or GX attackers. So this guy is like the cream of the crop. If you want to run somebody else, it's up to you, like maybe if you don't have this. And then we got our support guys. I have the Mime here. Mime protecting our bench. And I've got Jirachi here with Stellar Wish. Very good Pokemon. I don't think I need to tell you guys what this Pokemon does. I think by now everybody knows. It's really hot, this Pokemon, right now. If it's active, then you reveal top 5 cards, you get any trainer, and it's asleep. And then one Tapu Lele GX, still running this Pokemon, very good of course. We can search this, give me a supporter. We can even attack with Energy Drive in this deck. It's very nice. So one of each of these guys. And then the Blastoise line, I didn't really talk about it. Of course, you gotta run your 4 Squirtles. This Squirtle from Boundaries Crossed is still probably the best one, thanks to Shell Shield. As long as this Pokemon is on your bench, it's gonna block the damage. If you don't have this, or if you don't like this effect, since I'm running Mime 2 in this case, then the new one from Team Up with 70 HP is probably the best. It's got some standard basic Pokemon attacks. 70 HP is the highest. 1 retreat, pretty good. Now, if I had like 4 of these, because I only have 1 myself, I probably would have been running 4 of these, and let's say drop in the Mime for something else, because if we can protect Squirtle, if Squirtle can protect itself, then maybe protecting yourself from spread isn't so important, so I could have squeezed in another Pokemon. But, I mean, it is what it is. Mime is still pretty good. Okay. And that rounds up the Pokemon. Pretty simplistic. We don't really have like a consistent attacker like in the Rayquaza decks. You got Rayquaza X. You can always fall back on that guy. But we have a few different Pokemon that can get the job done. Snorlax and I suppose Palkia GX. Not too bad either. Okay, now for the Trainer Skeleton. Since this is a water deck, we can take advantage of a lot of tools that we don't in other decks. For example, first and foremost, this Dive Ball here. This is going to be like a Master Ball for almost every Pokemon in here. Now, it does kind of conflict with a few Pokemon. You guys can see that if I was running the Water Palkia GX, I would have been able to search it. But we're running the Dragon. I'm really firm on this. If you want to run the Water one, it's up to you. We can't search, of course, Eevee and Snorlax, Jirachi, Mime, even Tapu Lele. So there's a lot of Pokemon we can't search, which is why there's only 2 of these. But we can still search our Squirtles, the Blastoise, which is the most important thing you want to search, Volcanion, Tapu Fini. So it's a very good card still. I've got the Mysterious Treasures here. This one is for Lele. It's a softer Ultra Ball, and I also have the option to get Palkia GX. And this is a good time to mention, there is a Mr. Mime that it's Psychic from Plasma Storm, I think. He's either Plasma Storm or Plasma Freeze, that has the same bench barrier. Normally when you run a card like a Mystery Treasure, probably better to run that guy so that you have the option to search him if you really want to. But I never really want to spend my Mystery Treasure to search Mime. I like running this guy because he has the Darkness Resistance. I'm just really, it's like an OCD thing. I don't know how to explain it. I just imagine like this guy is tanking dark Pokemon. So I like it. You can run the Psychic one too if you want to. Okay, enough crazy shit. Crazy talk. We've got our Professor's Letters here. You gotta run 2 of these. Search out your water energies. Very, very handy. Very important. What really makes, it really is a card that makes this deck so much better, so much more viable. And then what else do I have for searchers? Not much. I think I covered the trainer searches, I guess, for Pokemon and the energies. You gotta have your typical text in here. The rare candy to get the Blastoise quick. 4 of these. My 1 field blower and 1 startling megaphone to get rid of those tools in stadiums. This is very important against Garbodor, the one with Garbotoxin. You gotta stop that Pokemon, otherwise it stops you and you can't do shit. And I've got the 1 stretcher. Since I'm running all water energies in this deck, I don't really need to run Super Rod just in the case I lose my fire or lightning energies respectively. So Stretcher is good. It's still going to give us that shuffle to the deck, a bunch of Pokemon if we want to. And I guess one of the things that's different from this deck as opposed to rayboar is that we don't discard as many energies too. Tapu Fini discards, of course, but these guys don't discard. Maybe we're going to discard a few with Volcanion Prism. But yeah, so it's okay. Stretcher is good here. Being able to instantly grab back like a Snorlax, use that again. Palkia, just another attacker. Good. And I've got my Trainer's Mill. I guess this is a consistency card. Reveal the top 4, get a trainer. This card is fantastic. Run one of these. And the 2 Via Seekers, get any supporter. Gives me a lot of flexibility. I'm able to run like a lot of single supporters thanks to this card. Very good. And the only tool I guess we got is the 1 Float Stone. And I also run 1 Switch. You never know when you want to switch. Pretty typical Skeleton. You guys should be very, very familiar if you watched any of my other deck videos. And I believe all that's left to talk about is the supporters, the stadiums, and I didn't talk about the A-Spec. Of course, A-Spec a choice, computer search. Joker, get you anything. If you don't want to run this, you can run Dowsing Machine. It should be a good alternative as well. Of course, running something like Master Ball is not a good idea since you have other better searching options that you don't need to waste your A spec on them. Like Dive Ball is almost like a Master Ball in this deck, and you have other options. I guess you can try the Switch, the Scramble Switch, I think it's called, something like that. But Computer Search is probably the best. I mean, it is the best. I'm not even gonna lie. All right, stadiums. We run 1 Brooklet Heal. Early, this card can be a good supporting card. Search you basic Pokemon 2, get those Squirtles out. If it stays longer, we can search even more things. Very good. And Rough Seas is a card that I really love in any water deck in Expanded. It'd be cool if this was in Standard too, but it'll probably be too broken. Heal 30 damage from all water and lightning Pokemon every turn. Very nice. Your opponent can use this too, but it's just so good. It's too good not to run one of these. I mean, Brooklet Heal is very good as well, being a searching stadium, searching your Pokemon, which is why I have this here, have 1 of each. But I mean, if this didn't exist, you best believe we would have had 2 Rough Season here. Okay, and the last thing to talk about are the supporters. Standard. It should be a standard lineup as well. You got to run the 1 Chorus, and I run my 2 Cynthia here. Run 1 N. Pretty good. We got the Via Secrets if you want to use them anymore. I run the 3 Junipers. Gotta have her. And run 2 Skyless. Get those rare candies and all of the other valuable trainers items. Actually, I forgot. I didn't talk about the energy retrieval in cards too. We got 3 energy retrievals here. And 1 super fisherman, not super rod. He probably is using the super rod in this artwork. I mean, I guess you wouldn't use the super rod to catch a Magikarp here, but whatever. Don't run superior, as you guys can see. There's not really much of a point. Like I've said, you don't discard as many cards, and unlike Rayboar, my stadium doesn't even discard. Like that deck has the Heat Factory that discards fire energies to draw as well. So those extra energy retrieving cards are important, but in this deck, with 3 energy retrieval and Fisherman 2, we've got the Via Seekers to reuse them again. It should be enough. And then last but not least, the 1 Lysander. You can try Guzma if you want, but I like this guy better for the most part. It's a much more simplistic card, I guess. I'm more of a simple player, but it's good. I like it. We can reuse this with Via Seeker as well. So typical deck list, and at least my type of deck list. And then the last thing, the water energies, just 11 water energies here. So yeah, kind of like Rayboar. I like these energy acceleration decks. I've said this many times. I use them, and I'm always happy when they print for different types, so we can explore around different types. We've got lightning, water, fire so far, and they kind of gave us half-assed Sceptile and Primal Clash, yeah, but it is what it is. We can't use that. So, of course, I'm going to show you guys matches now that I showed you guys this deck. Once again, if you guys are disappointed that this isn't an Archie sort of variant, well, what can I say? I don't like that deck. You could say it's probably the most superior, consistent, degenerate option, but I just don't like it. I've got the Archies. I probably have all the cards to build it. It's not a matter of having the cards. I do have all of the fucking executes too, the propagation ones, but I hate that deck, so I don't want to run it myself. All right, and that's about it. Oh shit, I forgot the stage 1 War Turtle. Run this one from Team Up. It has the highest HP and the best attack, Waterfall, if you're going to use it. I don't think there's any better one. Even the Boundaries Cross one isn't as good. So just run this one. Okay, and I don't think I forgot anything else. I always forget some shit. That should be the deck. So hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys subscribe and leave a like. Share this with your friends. I urge you guys to subscribe to my channel and check out my playlist. I should have a bunch of videos that are for your needs. I have a lot of stuff covered, just about anything TCG related you could ask for Pokemon, retro and contemporary. So I urge you guys to do that. And I'll see you guys on the matches. Sabro54, thank you guys for watching. We'll say